And we are live. Hey, I am doing my usual. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day. The week hopefully has been better and keep getting better and better and better. I am still setting up, but please, if you are in here, let me know. Drop a comment, an emoji, and anything, and I will do the same. Let's see. All right. I am here. Let's see. Yes. Hey. Hi, Desties and Bride friends. Happy Destihour. It is a gloomy Thursday here in Pittsburgh, but we're going to get this going. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. Mine is going pretty good. It's a long week for some reason, but we're getting through it. And today we are going to be talking about wedding websites, and that is not what we're doing. We did wedding websites last week, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. But this week, we are doing welcome packages. So what can go in them? What should they go in? And I have like a yay or nay, what I like, what I don't like. I received a few questions, and I'm going to kind of infuse them into my tips for your welcome packages. So if you ever have any questions, please let me know. I will answer them as usual. And then also, let me know. Drop a note in the comments and let me know when you're watching. And I will take a little sip. I see you guys always take a little minute to come on. Probably because I've trained you already to know that I'm late, but I'm trying to be better, you guys. So yes, I'm going to give you guys a couple more minutes to go in, and just for the sake of catching up, and even if you're watching this replay, participate in this one for me. So let me know what beauty things you are missing, because I'm missing all of the things. I have no lashes. Like it's hurtful. Hi, Jennifer. So yes, let me know what beauty things. I have no lashes, and I get my lashes done. I used to get my lashes done back in the day, every 2 weeks, and it was just my little fun spa. I like to wake up with some lashes. My nails look crazy, you guys. And then my hair. I'm going to work on all of these things because my birthday is in 2 weeks and I cannot look like this. But let me know what beauty things you're missing, because I know you have to be missing something. Is it a spa? I missed the gym. Does that count? I miss it all. But we've got to get this together, you guys, all together. So I see a few more of you have jumped on, so welcome. We are talking about welcome packages. I am drinking white wine today. I have to go light on my tequila supply because it's getting low, and the liquor stores are not open in Pennsylvania. So pray for me, y'all. Just, send me the vibes, do whatever you need to do, because it's going to be a thing. So, yes, no lashes. Tequila's low. It's a whole thing. So if you're drinking, let me know what you're drinking, or just let me know what you like to drink. And if you want me to get on with it and get going with this wedding welcome packages. Did I say wedding websites again? I don't know. I might have said it again. I'm really excited about the wedding websites. But anyway, we're doing welcome packages. So take a sip. Okay. So I have notes galore and questions. And then I also have some props. So bear with me with this. I got really excited, and as I started taking my notes, it just got out of control. So the most important thing, you guys, with your welcome packages is, of course, to welcome your guests. So you want to, there's a lot of pressure and there's so many different things that you can do, but just keep the main mindset of, I want to let my guests know how much I appreciate them coming, and also appreciate for them to also build anticipation for what the weekend will entail. So it's a thank you for coming. Hey, I'm glad that you specifically are here, and I want you to get excited about XYZ. So those three things are like the important things to keep running in your mind. Know who the people are, and you'll understand why I'm saying that later. And then welcoming them without going overboard, right? Because you can just throw all types of stuff into these packages, but it's also important to be cost effective. So all of this will depend on how much you want to spend. I really recommend, use the budget spreadsheet, but do the big stuff first, and then I would put the welcome packages. I know it sounds kind of bad maybe, because it is important, it is a priority, but see how much money you have left, and based off of the money you have left, then I would fill my packages with what I could, because you need to know how many guests you're going to have. If you've got 50 guests, well, if you got like 25 guests, or if you got 50 guests, if you have 75, if you got 80 or 100, that will greatly like decide on what you can do with these packages. So don't just shoot, don't jump, don't jump the gun. Is that a thing? Yes, don't jump the gun. That's like the racing thing. So yeah, you don't want to jump too far and decide on what's going in. Decide on exactly what's going on in your packages and pay for those things, and then it turns out that your head count is larger. I've coached Desti Brides before who have done that, and then you're too busy trying to fill in the gaps in other places because you weren't expecting 10 more people, and now you've got to expand your budget. So I say, we'll go through this. This is great brainstorming, and then for the sake of timing, I'd say make this a fun part. Maybe like the last month of your wedding, decide. And by month, I mean with an extra week there. So let's say in the last, like 5 weeks out from your wedding, then it's time to really pinpoint and go, this is what I'm going to put in here. And you may have to cut out some things or decide on some different things. So you just don't want to decide, I'm going to have this grand package, and then the number of your guests makes it difficult for you. You don't want to blow the budget because of your welcome packages, is what I'm trying to say. So I hope that makes sense to you. And Ivory says Stella Rosa Black if you're into sweet red. So I've had Stella Rosa, but I haven't had Stella Rosa Black. So what's the difference between those? And also, hi Ivory, I love you. But yeah, what's the difference between those two? And I probably, with the Stella Rosa, I used to drink that. It's a little sweet, so I end up adding like rum to that to make it more of a cocktail to give me some more oomph. But let me know what's in that. And anyway, cheers. Cheers to you guys. Okay, so the first question that I received was from the Help Me Help You on Instagram, the story. You guys always you guys will ask your questions with it. And the question is this. It says, welcome bags and favors. Do you need both? And that is a great question. And my answer is not if you do it the right way. If you make it to where your welcome package is a favor and includes favors, then no, you do not have to. It's just it's a double. So the welcome package, as we go through the things that go in it, we will talk about where you can make it favors, if that makes sense. So yeah, some people in the ceremony, or at the reception, the table, you may have a little something additional. That's something extra. But if you really do this right with your welcome package, you don't have to have both. It could just be an extra something later on if you want to do that, or if you have that in the budget to add something else later on. So the welcome is like the shebang. and here, and I got this, and you're showering them with gifts and your love, and you may not be able to hug them and touch them and tell them thank you as soon as they arrive, but the welcome package will do it for you because we're going to make it happen. And Ivory, hey. Oh, blackberry. Oh, it's got blackberry in it. Interesting. Check that out. So, okay. I might like that one more, actually, because it's probably, hence the name. I was about to say darker, but it's black, so duh. Yeah. Okay. Welcome bags. So, we'll talk about a couple of things. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way because I have tips. So, you don't have to go overboard. So, what can you use? So, and also just for background on the podcast, if you haven't, like, so if you only watch me on Desti TV, the YouTube channel, you're missing out a little bit because the podcast is where I started and I have certain episodes. And right after the wedding, I did an episode. I believe it's episode, look, I don't even know. I think it's episode 9 of the podcast or something. But I did a 15 things to never forget while planning your destination wedding. And actually, it must be episode 13. And number 9 is specifically talking about welcome bags and packages. So that is a great episode to watch or to listen to just in general. I will drop that link. Last week when I was trying to drop comments and links, it was a whole thing, you guys. I didn't do that very well. So afterwards, I'll just flood you with all the links of what I'm talking about because it was too much and I'm trying to talk to you and figure out how to log into Facebook and do the comments because where I record is not right into the page. So it's a whole thing. So anyway, there is an episode that I think is really, really important that you'll like, and I'm going to put some of the tips in here, but you want to re-listen to that too because I kind of went into depth with all types of things, including welcomes. But what can you use? So, of course, the tote bag. Everybody knows about the tote bag, and you're almost expecting a tote bag at this point. I'm not against them. I think that tote bags are useful, and they can be useful. I think they're more useful. The thing for me is you're using you receive a tote bag, and it just has a couple of things in it. So it's just this big packaging with a little bit of stuff in it, and it can kind of look a little flimsy because you can't fill up this giant tote bag. Now, the pro of the tote bag is then if guests want to travel and walk around with your tote bag, walk around the resort, pack their items in it, they'll have your tote bag and it's got your personalization on it or something, and they can do that. I've never done that personally, and it depends because when I'm going on vacation or when I'm going somewhere, I have my own bag that goes with my outfit usually. So it just depends, right? I have maybe used the tote bag later or who knows. So tote bag is kind of it's cute. It can be useful, but there are other options as well. So the tote bag is not a nay. It is still a yay, but it's something where it's kind of like it's to be expected. So another option you could do is the tote that's maybe in a different shape. Maybe the shorter square ones or a wine. Like, have you ever seen the wine? Because this is wine. But the wine size tote bags or a box. So what we did was we made these boxes. And by we, I mean I. You can choose them. I used a company called Pack Lane. And the Pack Lane, I will drop that link in the comment. I have that one saved. But Pack Lane, this box came just traditionally. So the inside of it is white. But you could pay, like the whole box was white. And you can also have it in like a brown and all these other things. And I then added, and I've talked about the boxes before, but I added the extra design on the outside with, a little bit of personalization. So each guest received, you can also like add something on the inside. It's more expensive. So we kept it white. But yes, so every guest received a box to their room. They were hand delivered to their room. Now, you, instead of going the custom route, you can just go and get boxes. I also like the idea, like you can just go and buy boxes. You can buy them at like Target or something, or maybe a Tuesday morning, or Walmart or something, and just have it, not as heavy duty as this maybe, but or just different types. You can do different things with this. So you can do different shape boxes. You can also, I've seen acrylic boxes where people do things. I've seen folders. I don't know how much you can fit into a folder necessarily, but be creative with it. So you don't have to do a tote bag necessarily. There are other options for you. When it came to, another thing that I like the idea of, and I think it could be considered a little overboard and doing too much, so let me know what you guys think of this. But what if you got a box and actually you packed the box up and then you wrapped it with wrapping paper? Like, I really like to wrap gifts, so the idea of receiving a wrapped gift to my room from someone just feels so special. Or just having an extra bow, like even something to just like open, make it more gifty, something like that. I like that. Yes, so that's that. A note about us having, Ivory saw a Chinese takeout box done very nicely. That's cute too. And I've given those as gifts because they have them. Michael's is another really great spot. And thank you for that, Ivory. But the Michael's had glittery ones. They were black with glitter on them and they were so cute. And I would love that too. That sounds good. I like that. See? Good ideas. Where was I? I talked about, a note about having your packages delivered. Check with your resort to figure out how exactly to go about that, because every resort is different. For us, we stayed at Secrets Maroma Beach in Mexico, Riviera Maya, and what we ended up doing, it was $3. Did I write down how much this was? Yeah, I mean, from what I've been seeing, your site could charge you anywhere from $3 to $10 per guest to deliver. We were I think we were at $3. It was $3. That's something that could be negotiated too. So play around with it. Everything could be negotiated more than likely. But check on that, because that was an additional cost that we weren't aware of. It all makes the difference. You can do something where you have your guests come and meet you, and I've said this in different episodes before on the show officially, but you can have the gift or the bag, whatever the welcome package is, you can have that waiting for them at whatever you decide to do for your meet and greet. Or the thing for that for me is I just didn't want our guests to have to take them and then go, like, keep them with them wherever they are. They might be going to dinner, they may go do other things. You don't want that. And then also sometimes what's inside of it, you need them to know. And what goes inside of it, we'll talk about it. But like, if there's an itinerary of some sort that says meet me at XYZ, now your wedding website should have already told them where to go. So that's just an extra space for it to be. So it may not matter that much, but just the delivery is a nice extra touch. But if you decide on delivery, just make sure that you know how much your resort will charge you, and then what are their terms also, because they may only do it the day after the person arrives, or it must be at a certain time, and make sure it works with your timing, and it can be all sorts of reasons. So just find out with your resort, contact them, and see what it would take. I'm not sure if your planner would be able to help you with that. If you're on resort, then your planner should have an answer and be able to coordinate that for you too. Now, the fun stuff. So where else am I? Yes. So the fun stuff. So We talked about what you can use. The only other thing that I would add to what you can use, we talked about tote bags. We talked about other different types of bags. We talked about boxes. Another option is baskets. So the key with baskets would be the matter of sizing for them. Do you purchase them? It's probably better to purchase them in your destination so that you're not trying to pack baskets. That may be difficult. Um, so that's the only thing. Baskets could be a really great touch, but if you can find them, so maybe reach out to your planner if you have an offsite planner who's going out into the city for you, maybe, or maybe your planner at the resort. I'm not really sure, but a basket is probably the most extra. And if you decide on that, then you want to make sure that they will fit into your suitcase or your whatever type of bin, whatever you're traveling with. You want to make sure that your baskets will fit in there. I think also, before I jump into what can go inside, it's a great idea to make sure that you put all of your welcome stuff in one thing. One thing. I paused so long to just say thing. In one suitcase or whatever you're traveling in, try to make sure that they all items fit into that one space. So if for any reason, when you're traveling, when you're flying, if that gets lost, then that's all lost in one space, and it's not like some of your contents are on one side, some are on the other. You never want anything to get lost, but if they do get lost, just know that it's not the end of the world. It will show up at some point, and if you just let your guests know, hey, they didn't make it, but they're welcome, da 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 da, and then you can ship them to them later. It'll be more of a headache for you to send it out to them, but I think that it makes the most sense to do it that way. And if there's anything that you want to keep with you and not have in that, maybe the itinerary, whatever you decide with your welcome note in your itinerary, keep that and put that in your carry-on. That way you'll have that. So in the event that anything goes wrong with your actual welcome package, when you see your guests at your welcome meet and greet, you'll go, hey, I want to at least give you this, or you can maybe have that delivered to your guests. And then you can then let them know later on, like, there was a full package. So sorry I didn't make it to you guys, but I owe you that, or I'll give that to you later. But at least you have something. And if you have something, then it would be that welcome with the itinerary, which is really the most important part. Anyway. Okay. Now, ideas on what should go inside. There are certain things that you must have. So you need that welcome note. I talked about the welcome note, and one of the welcome note should include, of course, a nice, sweet note. What we did is I'm always trying to show you what's what, but it's a welcome to Mexico, and it says, welcome to Mexico. We are so excited to have you here. Our wedding weekend has finally arrived, and the theme is love. So be prepared to share laughs, tears, and good times as we celebrate our union all weekend long. Please accept this welcome package as a small token of our appreciation. Love, Omi and Doug. And then we had a note at the bottom that said, the tequila is not a keepsake. Have a welcome shot on us now, and we'll have a shot with you later. And then we had hashtag turn up for Omi and Doug, hashtag flip me over for the itinerary. And then literally the itinerary is here. And we broke it down, the meet and greet, when the shuttles leave, when dinner is, like shuttle leaves we had a Friday night on the town, and then during the week we had, on the wedding day, all of the events for that too. So, and then another little Omi and Doug thing. So I'm not sure if you can see that. I will drop photos, but the key notes here is the welcome note. You need to have a welcome note of some sort. Now, I did receive a question that said handwritten note, yay or nay. And I think that a handwritten note is probably always going to be a yay, as in it's great and it's very nice and it's very personal. I do think that it can also be a nay just because of the amount of time it could take for you to handwrite a welcome. I think it's much better to handwrite your thank you card for them to thank them for coming later than to write the thank you for a welcome note. You could, but it depends on how many guests you have. It can just be a lot to really put thank you when something your time could just be used somewhere else. So I'm not against it, but I'm not totally in love with it either. And I just would hate for like you write that welcome note and then it may not be kept because all of this is at risk of being lost or accidentally left in their room. The thank you or like left in their room when they leave. But the thank you card, if you want to handwrite anything, I would handwrite your thank you cards when you send them. That's my answer to that. And make sure I don't have any other notes. Yes. So you've got the welcome that you must have, and then you must have an itinerary. Now, your itinerary should have time, location, dress code, and any other important details for each event. Now, you've probably told people verbally. You have it on your wedding website as well. You may have even did what we did, and you'll send an email to your guests letting them know also, just in case. But you want to also give them a paper version for them to have, or a hard copy version for them to have with them. I think that it makes the most sense to have them. It's almost like you get bonus points in my mind if you have them on the same one. It's less paper, which is great. But also, it's just, and so that means it's less to deal with, less to have to pack for you, less to have to make sure that you are keeping track of because you're going to have so many other things in there. But also, it's less for your guests to have to deal with. So if you have the welcome and the itinerary in the same space, then they'll always be able to keep it with them and have it with them. So that's that. The other thing that I think is a good idea to think about is instead of doing a piece of paper, thinking more in the card stock, as I talk, thinking more in the card stock, I think is better because you want it to be durable. You want it to be able to travel with your guests if they're throwing it in their tote bag or throwing it wherever, because they're going to keep it with them. They may, like we saw guests with these on the beach, and because they need to keep track. It's like, what time is, when should we, where should we be? And they pull it out of wherever. It needs to be able to just be kind of manhandled a bit, and paper tears, right? So you just want to think about that, and maybe also making sure that it's not necessarily laminated, but in a space where it can get wet. Like this can get wet and it's not going to just smear. If you're just printing on regular paper, you're kind of running that risk. It's not a huge deal, but it's something to just be aware of when you're making them. Two big things. So that's that. Boop, we're going down. Just working on down. Now you want to have some form of a souvenir. So this is where it becomes where I'm answering the question as far as welcome bags and favors. If you do this the right way, you will be able to combine them and make sure. So as far as souvenirs go, you can have a shot glass, you can do magnets, something local that your guests may want to have purchased on their own, or something for them to remember when they go back home. The key here is for them to want to take it out of this welcome bag and put it in their suitcase when they go home, for them to remember. And then when you go to their house, they'll have it a magnet on the refrigerator, or they'll pull out the shot glasses when it's time to have a good time. Or I've seen the bottle stoppers, no, I wouldn't say a corkscrew. That's probably, yeah, you could do a corkscrew, but bottle stoppers and bottle openers, because that's how you open a bottle. And the key with that is also to think about where you're purchasing them. So this is the kind of stuff that you'll probably be buying local. You'll be buying it while you're there. So if you go on a scouting trip, you can go ahead and buy that stuff in advance. And if you are getting it while you're there, you want to make sure that you're still being cost conscious. And I'll tell you this because there's, you guys know I did the Black Desti journal where I journaled 200-day countdown from 200 days to my wedding day. And on day 3 or 4, was it day 3 or 4? Day 3. Yes, day 3. Yes. Anyway, when we arrived, we knew we were going to go to Walmart because there's a Walmart that's in Playa del Carmen in the city. But there's also but before we went to Walmart, we had a few guests that were arriving that same day, so we wanted to make sure that they got something. So say all that to say, we ended up having to purchase some of the souvenirs that we wanted to put into our boxes on the resort. And the resort magnets, shot glasses, we opted for shot glasses. They were extremely expensive, like $15 each, kind of expensive, which could be cool if you're just buying it for yourself. But when you're buying multiple, it's a lot versus the $3 to $5 that we were paying for them once we got to Walmart. So another idea, if you can't go to Walmart, which probably isn't the best thing to do either, in hindsight, now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been better to actually go into town and support local vendors. Like, everybody has, like, on the street, there's a certain part in town, maybe along the beach, where you can just buy and haggle and, like, get things, like, get your magnets or your shot glasses or some beads or necklaces or maps. All of these things, you can actually purchase them local in town. I think it would be better. One, it'll be less money. It'll be less expensive than at the resort, but then you're also supporting the community that you're getting married in. So think about buying your souvenirs in town. Maybe when you arrive, planning a trip in town, because you will arrive before your guests anyway. So figure out how to do that and have fun with that. That would be a nice little photo op moment as well. So we missed out on that one, and I would definitely have gone there with it. Inside also, you want something to consume. So a local taste of whatever. So, if it's maybe some spices, or in our case, we did shot glasses. So we also did tequila bottles. So many tequila bottles, or like if you're in Jamaica, maybe a spice rum. If you're in St. Lucia, definitely a spice rum. Like get one of those ones that have the spices inside of it because it's so good. Dominican Republic, same thing. Like any type of something that's super local. Maybe somewhere where you're getting married is known for a certain type of pastry or coffee, or what else did I have here? Some chips, like plantain chips for Puerto Rico, or nuts if you're in Hawaii, or like if you're getting married in Key West, then you want like the key limes or anything that's known, that your destination is known for. You want to kind of just give them a little taste of that, something fun. One thing that I really loved, and it was extremely hot at the same time too, but we attended it's the wedding that I say the wedding that changed everything, that changed it all for me. But it was my first destination wedding, and it was in Montego Bay. It was in Montego Bay. Yes, it was in Montego Bay, Jamaica. And Danielle is whose wedding it was. It was the Lovezies, and they gave us hot sauces, and I thought that was so cute. It was a specific Jamaican hot sauce, and it was in a red bottle. I don't know what it was called, but it was super hot, y'all. Like crazy, crazy hot. But hot sauce, or if you were here in Pittsburgh, people would like give you a Pittsburgh cookie or something like that, because they always have this cookie table. So depending on wherever you are, maybe a recipe for a cocktail, or a recipe for jerk seasoning or a certain seasoning. You got all types of things that you can put in here, and I'm going to just keep throwing ideas at you and hope that they get those juices flowing, because that's what this is all about. Told you guys I had a ton of ideas, and I'm just going to keep throwing them out. So So yes. Oh, and since your guests are on vacation as well, then you want to. And I talked about the drinks, but you could also do like a bottle of wine if the specific region is known for it, or a locally brewed beer, or a nice bottle of the signature liquor. I talked about that with the spiced rums. Like I know specifically that the Dominican Republic and Saint Lucia. Yes, great, great, great. So you want to do that, and then that's a place where you could personalize if you wanted to, but it's really more about celebrating the destination that you're getting married in. So you want to go there with it. Like this is, you've already said welcome, and this is here, take, and you said here, take this home with you, and then you're going to give them something to consume right then and there as well. And yeah, so that's that. Now, something to a nay here is anything offensive. So, if you know that you have guests who don't drink, then giving them shot glasses and some many bottles of tequila is probably not as thoughtful a gift. The idea is for you to it's not as much of what you put into it, how many things you put into it, as much as it's about what you're putting in. And your idea is to welcome your guests. So alienating your guests or making your guests feel like you're not thinking about them, we don't want to do. If they're extremely religious, then giving them something that's got a bunch of F-bombs or A-bombs or anything like that, again, not a great idea. A lot of souvenirs, when you're thinking about it, a lot of souvenirs for some reason, especially like with Jamaica, there's a lot of like penises and stuff that are on these, or like they can get sexual. So it could be fun. So maybe doing that in some of your guests, the ones that will appreciate it, but not globally, because again, you don't want to offend anyone either. And saying like, oh, they should just understand it, or they should be, I mean, it's just still about the thought. Like, don't give me something that you know isn't gonna work for me necessarily. Like, that's extremely offensive. Maybe it could be something that could be new or interesting that they might like, but as long as you're not actually offending, I think that is the thing to be aware of. Now, next, you must have, and you guys all know about this one, but something first aid related. So first aid for your skin and for your stomach. So we're talking Alka-Seltzers, Pepto-Bismols, Tums, Mylantas. Oh no, Mylanta's liquid, right? That's the liquid one. Yeah, not that one. We had Tums, Alka-Seltzer, Pepto-Bismol. Do I still have the stuff in here? I do have some stuff in here still. So, yes, Alka-Seltzer. I wonder, is this still any good? No, it expired August 2019. So, that's garbage. But yeah, Pepto-Bismol, little mini packets, Advil. We had a couple Advils. And then for skin, we had sunscreen. And then also we used I'm having a what do you call it? A deja vu, because I just remembered also, and I will link to it. There's my first Destihour. This is Destihour. My first Ask a Desti. When I was doing Facebook Lives right after the wedding, I'm gonna link to that too, because I had tips in there, and there's 4 of those episodes that's really good to catch up on too. That's on Desti TV. Those are not on the podcast. So I was talking about people on Desti TV not missing out with the podcast. Now, if you're only on the podcast and you haven't seen Desti TV, you're missing out for those live Q&As too. So you kind of got to consume them all, because I'm all over the place. But anyway, I will add links to those as well. But these are Skin So Soft wipes, and so really insect repellent. You want a sun protectant as well, and we did aloe vera gel, and really all of this stuff came out useful. I think another thing that would have been good for us, I don't know how important it really is, but calamine lotion, if you don't put it in your welcome bag, you do want to add this to your emergency kit on your own for you to have just in case, because if you're anything like me, you get bit up by mosquitoes with or without insect repellent, and calamine lotion is white and it's gross. I mean, it's pink and then it goes all chalky, but it's so good and you just might need it. So that's a whole other thing. You want the painkillers. We talked about that. And I'm just going to keep this open because something tells me I will be going back in there. But yes, we did skin, we did stomach, we did head, because you need to make sure, the goal is for everyone to be hungover or close to after your wedding. You want everybody the day after your wedding to be wearing shades and walking around looking like zombies, but still enjoying themselves because your wedding was so great. At least that's my goal. That was my goal. But you still don't want them. You don't want them to be stuck in the room where they can't leave because they're so sick. So that's why you're giving them all of the stomach stuff. And then also a lot of times when people are traveling, if they don't, your stomachs are sensitive and you're maybe introducing yourself to different types of cuisine that can mess with your tummy. So give your guests those items and they will love that. Now, those are my yays. Now, as far as nays go, and this is like it's a nay. Like, it's kind of hard to say no to some stuff. So you guys more than likely have seen the hangover kits. And what a hangover kit is like, it's already a prepackaged something. You can maybe buy it on an Etsy shop. And it already has like all of these items or some of these items in a package already for you. The reason why I give them a nay is purely for pricing. They can be cute, but the per person cost can be a bit crazy. So just pay attention. So they're not a full-on nay, but because it could be handy just to buy those and not have to think about purchasing the individual items like we did. But at the same time, they could cost more. And sometimes, now I'm all about convenience. And sometimes you pay more just to not have to deal with it, not have to package it. You just order it and somebody ships it to you. If that's what you're thinking, then hey, go for it. But if you're thinking about cost, then hangover kits will go on the nay for me, because you can more than likely create the packaging all on your own, create the items all on your own and throw them into your packaging of whatever you're choosing anyway, and bada bang, bada boom. Now, a note on purchasing these things: price shop. So some of the items we purchased on Amazon, some on Walmart.com, some at Target, and it was solely, and that was it, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, and some at the Dollar Tree. I would go to the Dollar Tree and walk up and down those aisles and see what you can find. I know for a fact that we ended up, this was years ago, mind you, but we purchased like the Pepto-Bismols. I feel like I got a whole slew of these. A whole slew, because that's a specific number. But a ton of these for $1. The Pepto-Bismols. You can get, and it's just a matter of making sure that the brands are good too. Don't give them like an off brand of something. Sometimes at Dollar Tree you can find really good name brand things. So don't give them a BS, Dollar Tree brand of something. But if you can find it, I go shop through Dollar Tree first, see what you can find. And then just open up 3 tabs. Open up Amazon, open up Walmart, open up Target. And just boop, 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 like same word, whatever you're looking for, and see what the amounts are, and then just purchase them that way. I think it's probably, I'm not sure if it sounds hard or not, but that's my idea, is just to price them and make sure that they're good. The individual packets is the key with everything. You don't want to get a large thing of like Pepto-Bismol. Just make sure that everything's individually packaged. It's like Halloween candy, right? So you just want to make sure that everything's together. So that's that for first aid. Now you also want something that's utilitarian, so that's in the same space. So I had insect repellent and sunscreen there, but that probably still goes into first aid instead. But I like the idea of fans. I've seen the little electric ones that kind of have a little propeller, and then also just the fans, like the, what I'm talking about, like those ones, and you go like that. Those fans can be cute. Tumblers, like the tumbler glasses, maybe in this sizing. Some of you have the types, that's a place where you could personalize if you wanted to or not. It really doesn't matter. But the idea of giving your guests something, the temperature control ones are really great because then you can take it to the if you're like at all inclusive, you can take it to the bar and just have them put your drink in there and then enjoy it. And speaking of drinking, yes, like that. But if it was temperature controlled, then it wouldn't be warming up. So something like that. And yes. Oh, and I love the idea. We did not do this, but disposable cameras. Everybody has their phone, but nobody has, like, I love the Polaroids, but you can't give people a Polaroid. Now, the idea of doing the mini Polaroid cameras on the tables, I think is super cute. Same idea for disposable cameras too, but they may not look great on your ceremony table depending on how you're going with it. Like, I wouldn't have wanted them on my table personally. But buying packs of those and throwing them in your welcome package could be really cute, and then your guests can just kind of take the pictures, and then it's fun. You have to like go to CVS or Rite Aid or Walgreens to the photos department and have those developed. So it could be something just nostalgic. Depending on how old you are, it would be nostalgic, and if you're younger, then it probably wouldn't be fun to you. but some of your guests might really enjoy it. So I thought that was a really, really cute idea, and I've seen people do that, and that gets a yay from me. Now, nays are toiletries, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner. No, they are entirely too personal of a gift. People are very specific about the types of toothpaste and the types of shampoo and conditioner that they use, and for you to give them that is a no-go. I don't think that giving toiletries, not a thing. Now, flip-flops, I'm gonna put flip-flops on my nay list personally. I come with my own flip-flops. Receiving flip-flops for me, and then there's usually like this little cheaper type of flip-flop. It's just not gonna get used by me. I'm not gonna lie. It could be cute, but it's a waste of money for me. I'm coming with my own stuff, and I just don't want those. So that's that. Towels are heavy. Towels are hard to pack. Towels are a lot, and people will leave your towel at the resort. So the idea of people going around and taking a towel, and you can kind of see your color walking through your resort, it's an idea, and I don't hate it, but I think that will, if I have a nay bin, I'm throwing it in my nay bin because I think it's just a waste of money. And yeah, I think if you're being cost conscious, it's a waste of money. I hate to say no to everything, you guys, because I know that you all like your own things. So, of course, by no means am I judging, or I'm giving this weird disclaimer because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. None of these ideas are terrible. There's just really, really great. And then I'm kind of like, meh. So that's a meh. Let's go meh. Let's not call it nay. We'll just call it meh. Now, no's are beach balls and noisemakers because you will ruin the experience of all other resort stayers. And then a lot of times they're not even allowed in the resort anyway. So they're just an annoyance. So don't give noisemakers, and don't give beach balls and floaties and things of that sort. Those are nays to be exact. Now, if you're doing a bachelorette situation and you've got like a private pool, or you're somewhere else, like you're in Vegas or wherever, then that's a maybe. But for the full wedding weekend, you don't want that. And what you don't want also, which has happened to a bride, is for the resort to approach you about your guests and what you're doing, because you got your last name on stuff. So just know that these people are representing you. So, and you want to stay on the resort's good side. So yes, that's that. Now, a perk of something good to do is something pampering. Now, I shot down the idea of toiletries as in toothpaste and shampoos and conditioners because no. But what you could do if you want to give your guests something for them to use is maybe bubble bath. Like if most of the rooms in the resort have bathtubs, then a lot of resorts don't necessarily have a bubble bath, or it's not like a great bubble bath. You just use like a shower gel. I'm a huge bath person. So if you end up, instead of using a shower gel, give them a little thing of a bubble bath. And you can find like, yes, Bath and Body Works is an idea, but think, look at Nordstrom, look at other brands of something that could be or Sephora, like a nice smelling, like a really good, if it's for a couple, then something romantic or something just more like, then, or you could just go Bath and Body Works too. So that's a thing. But bubble bath is a great idea. The bath bombs, I talked about that in the podcast episode that I referenced earlier. But the balls, I know that Ivory loves those little balls, and I think what's the kind that you like? Is it peony? Anyway, the bath bombs is an idea. We did candles. So we had small candles, and I will actually add, let me pop a photo up really quickly. So this is from the blog. I will drop the link, like I said, but this kind of gives you an idea of everything that we did. And I don't even know, but there's a little circle. I don't have it anymore, but the little circles in the corner it's like a blue one, and then the other box has a pink. Those were little candles, and I do have photos of all of these things. Again, it's like day 3 for sure. But then when I was out searching, I talked about the candle search, because that was a thing, and that was somewhat of a splurge for our guests because candles can cost a little bit. But anyway, we're a couple, so we found them. Even if I was by myself, we found some really great smelling candles that we liked, and added them. And if you choose to do candles, you want to also make sure that you provide matches. You can kind of see a little box of matches. Yeah, I'm funny. You can see a box of, you want to also include a box of matches, because your guests can't ask the resort for matches because the resort won't give them matches. Are candles allowed? That's another questionable thing, but we did it. Guests enjoyed them and liked them and actually burnt them, because your rooms smell like whatever. So the idea of giving them something to, we're candle people, so we had the candle. Look, I've got a candle in the background right now. Can you see my candle? I've always got a candle. Not sure if you ever realized that, but it's something that I must have. So, yes, candles. The other, what else could you do? Candle, bubble bath, bath bomb, cigars. Cigars are an option. I know that people like the Cuban cigar idea. I personally am not into smoking, but anyway. But cigars can be a hit. Sometimes even at your wedding you could have a cigar rolling station or something like that. So if you know your guests, or you think they would enjoy that, or it's on theme for your wedding, then cigars. Make sure that you give them a box of matches too. And matches cannot be carried on the plane, but you can check them, just so that that's in that TSA link that I've shared with you guys in the past. And then the final thing I would say is like a little thing I would add, like an essential oil. If it's one of your favorite oils, you can either create your own blend. I know that there are companies that do that. Same thing goes for like your little bubble baths or your soaps or your little oils. You can create like a little custom blend and then have that personalized, and then that's something that people can use with them. I'm really into doing like lavender to go to sleep or to be soothed, or then they take it home, put it in the diffuser or whatever. So again, it's a matter of paying attention to your guests, or if it's something that speaks to you, then you could do that. There's also like mini bar soaps, anything that you like that has the travel size of something, throw that in there, because that could be a fun piece of you. And I would also, that's kind of something to pamper your gifts. You want to pamper your gifts, pamper your guests. And you want something fun. Now, something fun for us, we had the shot glasses, we had the mini tequila bottles, which we still have, which is kind of funny. And then we had the note that says, take a shot now and we'll have a shot later. I love something that kind of makes it fun, a little personalized. We're drinkers, so if you come to our house, you're going to see a bar and you're going to enjoy something with us. And if you're at a party, you know that there's shots involved. So it wouldn't make sense if our wedding didn't involve shots. Now, another idea is like a scavenger hunt, so you can kind of get fun with it, or create a little scavenger hunt, or give everybody a little puzzle piece that throws in there and tell them to come to your party. Like, you create a puzzle and then every single person gets a couple puzzle pieces and tell them to come, and then they have to put it together or something. So yeah. Hey, Demetra, how are you? I know everything's great. I talked about Mexico a bit too, and I don't know if I told you, and I talked about it. I'm not sure if you already saw it, but there's the Walmart that's in town in Playa, and I went through that a little bit. But you probably already know that because I believe you read the Black Desti countdown, so you already knew. But yes, also fun. So the puzzle idea, or a scavenger hunt, and an entertainment guide, like telling people, giving them a little guide that has something to do with, fun things that they could do in town. I discussed that last week in the wedding website. Like, you could have a little page or little link that gives them a few ideas of entertainment, but you can also just give them, maybe if there's a booklet that exists, that little booklet can go in there too. A lot of times these things can be free in your resort. Like, if your resort has like little pamphlets, because all of them, like if you go to the concierge side, they have all these little things, a little map. Grab them, ask them for a certain number of them. As long as you don't have a zillion rooms, they'll more than, and either way, it doesn't even matter. They'll be more than happy to help you with that and to get you that. And then another thing, maybe like a dictionary. So if you're like getting married in Mexico, a Spanish dictionary, or any type of, or even just you put together a little card of something that has a short list of phrases with English translations. That way guests can kind of intermingle and have fun with locals. Let me pull this picture down because it's distracting me. So yes, so I think something with little short phrases, like for them to be able to have a good time with the locals with that, and then they always enjoy that depending on where they are. And that goes for even certain things that you say, like whether you're getting married out of the U.S. or inside the U.S., there's different ways that people speak. In Atlanta, there's certain little Atlanta twangs. Here in Pittsburgh, there's all types of things that people say in Pittsburgh. Like, did you know that Nebby means nosy? You say you nebby. And instead of rubber bands, they're gum bands. Those are just two things that I didn't understand very much. Gum bands is probably easier, but nebby is nosy. Anyway, so no matter where you are, no matter where you're getting married, there are certain ways that people say things, and you can just ask your planner, if you don't know, of just some fun phrases or some interesting things or just some interesting, what are those things called? Facts. Some interesting facts about your destination, and include that in there, and that will be your something fun. And then you can later on, if you want to have fun, like at your meet and greet or something, give people, you win something if you know how do you say nosy in Pittsburghese or something like that. So that would be fun. And then, so yes, so we've got something fun. And then you want to personalize. Now, for personalization, you can choose a candy or a treat that you both enjoy, you and your partner enjoy. Like for us, I did Skittles and Shay did Sour Patch Kids. Or you can also do something personal, as in something that your guests like. Now this goes on to if you want your guests to enjoy, like, if you want to personalize your box based on your guests, you can do that too. Now, it's a little more work, but you get extra, like that's like an extra points space, because then you can have like the inside jokes, like if you and a friend or you and an aunt or you and whoever, you and a guest have something that you share, or you can add just a little trinket for them, and then you'll be able to like make sure that you write the name or do a little tag that says who it belongs to, and then they'll be able to get that. So that also makes sense, like I was talking about before, with making sure that your guests, you're not giving someone alcohol who doesn't drink, or maybe getting too crass with a joke for someone who's not like that. You can do that for, if the majority like something, then you can also just make sure that you're including your guests, certain guests, and making sure that they're okay too. But the idea of making it personal to something that that they'll love, like guests were really excited, like, oh, I love Skittles, I'm so glad you got Skittles in my bag. And I'm like, I really did that for me. But if I really wanted to like up the ante, I know certain friends, like I know the friend who loves Swedish Fish and this one loves Twizzlers, so you can make it to where you're packaging you're packaging your package. Yes, you're packaging your welcome gifts based off of your guests. Like if essential oil wise, like you have the friend who loves something, or their favorite candle, or I was talking about like Ivory's favorite bath bomb, then I could have made it to where her box had what she like, each person is what they really love, and they would appreciate that even more. So it's a little harder logistically just to make sure, but it's not that difficult. You just would put a name on the side of something and then make sure that this is delivered to this person. So it's not as difficult, but it's something extra, right? And that's the whole point with this. Other things you could personalize is the bottle opener, the wine stopper that I talked about. You can personalize. And then also I would focus on personalizing the packaging, more so the packaging than the actual items on the inside. I think that it's easier just to do the outside instead of just trying to do individual things, but it depends on how personalized you really want to go with it. If you just want to personalize, like, so there's levels to anything. Like I said, you could go all the way left and like personalize every single thing so that the souvenir has your name on it and this, and it's important to do that, but you also want to make sure that if you're giving them a souvenir, it's something that they would enjoy as well. It's kind of like throwing your brand all over things. Do you want it to say a huge, like, do you want everything to say Desti all over it? Or do you just want it to maybe just say, marry me in Mexico, and then maybe Desti somewhere else? So it's like that works. That works, because I mean that. So you can provide a souvenir. Maybe the souvenir, just think about it, about how you want it to be. Do you want it to be super personalized? Does it have to be? It's 100% up to you, and it's all up to you. So yeah, that's that. But really, I want you to understand, like, the most important thing with all of this is to have fun. The point is saying thank you to your guests. The point is making sure that they're excited and they're fun, and they're going to pull that energy from you. So you started off by having a good time, brainstorming with your partner, brainstorming with your bride friends, and figuring out, just taking all the ideas. So I gave you a zillion of them. I will also, this is a perfect type. I've been talking about doing like show notes, how I do for the podcast episodes, but this is a perfect one to actually give you a tangible thing. So I will create a post that will be show notes, and I'll add that in there. As in into the comments, along with the links of things that I've talked about, the pack lane, the blog posts, the videos, and the podcast episode, all that kind of stuff. I'll make sure to add. But have fun. Like, talk to your bride friends, see what they think, what they like, what they don't like. Do they get the final say? No. But it's important to kind of just get those juices running, Get those juices running. Yeah. I'm saying have a good time. Have fun with this. If you ever have any questions, of course, I am here for you. And it's it's really about the thought that goes into it. So, like I said before, and I fully mean it, it's important to make sure that you're starting to think about these things no matter where you are along your wedding planning journey. But you don't want to make definite decisions until closer to maybe like 5 to 6 weeks before your wedding. And I said that, I'm just reiterating it. I said it earlier, but it's really important to do that because you don't want this to blow your budget. It's important, but it's really something extra. And extra as in not extra on top of your budget. It's extra as in how much do I have left. If you don't have it to do a zillion things, then do a welcome, like the most important things. Like, okay, so I know what I'll do. I'll go through the list and tell you what's most important. So what we said, we want the welcome note, you need an itinerary, you need a souvenir, you need a some form of first aid, and that's the skin and stomach, and something that's utilitarian that they can actually use while they're there, and then something to pamper them, and something fun, and then something personalized. Now, if I'll say the top, you definitely want the welcome note. You definitely need the itinerary. Bonus if they're together. And that technically counts as a personalization too, if you really want to think of it that way. But whatever packaging, that's your personalization. And then a souvenir. I would say, like, if that was the most that you could do, I would go there. And then you can always include something fun there. So just give them a list of some phrases, and that's free because you can just look it up and print it out, and then boom boom, that's it for you. But so that would be the bare bare minimum. But yeah, so no matter what, make sure that you're having a good time with this, but don't let it murder your budget. So, like I said, 5 to 6 weeks makes the most sense before, and then you have a good by 5 weeks you should know how many people are coming to your wedding. I feel like at that point you have a final count, or very close to. And at that point you shouldn't be getting surprises people a month before your wedding talking about, hey, can I whatever. You can even wait until that final payment. When that final payment is due, then that's time to really pull the trigger on your welcome packages. But you've already had your idea on things. You've already prioritized what you must have. You've already found vendors that you like that will create certain things for you, and you've received your quotes. So that way you can go, okay, now it's time to pull the trigger. And I was gonna go ahead and add this extra thing of some bubble bath or some candles, but we got 25 more guests than we thought, so no, because that's expensive. Like, we paid, like I said, $5 for those candles. If we would have got way more people, then that would have been cut off the list. But the candy is, you can do that. You can do something cheap like that. So just pay attention to it. Don't buy that stuff in advance. Don't do that because you can always find it, first of all. And you don't want to break your budget with it. So that should be what you're using like the last of your money on, you guys. And it's still important, but it's not a huge budget item. And that's my 13 cents on that. So I don't see any additional questions. I know that if you have any, you will let me know, as you always do. I hope that this was helpful. That's always what I want to do for you guys. And if I think of anything else, I will let you know as soon as the show notes, which will have the list of everything that I'm talking about, as soon as that's live, I will throw that into the comments as well. And yeah, so I'm going to add the next topics. We have 3 more themes for April, and my birthday is April 24th, just so you know. So April 23rd, come, because I'm gonna have some form of a birthday party because I'm stuck in the house for my birthday, and you've got to come. So if you're seeing this and when you get your invitation, you need to come. So make April 23rd a priority for you, please, and thank you. And in general, I am always wishing you the best week of your life, and I'm reminding you to have the time of your life, planning the best days of your life. I love you guys. Have a great week, great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.